Hello, welcome to Santuário Lunar. Do you ever wondered how to be a witch? In this video I'm going to present you 3 simple steps for becoming a witch. And yes, these 3 simple steps are very simple because, as I always say, things are not complicated. We complicate things. So if you really want to become a witch, do watch this video until the end. Number 1, listen to the call. And what is this call? This call is something that you're going to listen inside yourself, like something's calling you, trying to grab your attention. And this call is also referred to as the goddess call. So when the goddess manifests in your life, nature itself, Mother Nature, it calls you to go to her or to come back to her. And how do we understand, or how do we know that we are receiving this calling? There are some ways the universe uses to manifest and to talk to us, and we must be aware of these things. One of these ways, for example, is using symbols and signs. As I always recommend, the book Man and His Symbols from Carl Jung is an essential reading, regardless the area you work with, regardless the life you live. It's an essential reading, and he explains how the subconscious mind talks to the conscious mind and how the subconscious mind receives insights and messages from other sources using symbols or through symbols. And the call you are going to listen can be through symbols or also through dreams. So let's understand a bit more of this symbolic communication, this symbolic calling. For example, if you are used to watch videos or films or playing video games or visiting different places, suddenly you notice that a specific symbol or a specific drawing, image, or even a situation, symbolic situation, is happening and is repeating. Then you start paying attention to it. It's like they are trying to grab your attention and finally they grab your attention. So you look at it with your conscious mind and you pay attention to it. Then after paying attention, you start noticing more things about it and remembering other appearances of this specific symbol, image, or situation. And then you start looking for answers or looking for meanings. That's when the process really starts. You received the call and you are going to answer it by looking for more information and understanding all the things related to it. A practical example, you are watching a lot of films lately and then suddenly you notice that you are seeing a 5-pointed star everywhere, and then you start remembering, oh, I saw that one, I saw that other, I remember seeing this 5-point star there. And then you notice this 5-point star is a recurring symbol, it's appearing too much for me. What is it? When you look for the meaning of the 5-pointed star, you discover it's called a pentagram, as I did in this video explaining what a pentagram is. And you see that it's calling you, like, come and understand me, come and decipher me. So when you answer this call by looking for answers for the symbols, you understand your path, you are ready to start following it. And what happens after you start following the path? Everything unfolds automatically. You received a lot of insights, a lot of other symbols, and you pay attention naturally to them, and you're going to look for the answers naturally, or you're going to simply understand them even though you didn't know them before. It's really nice. Another way to receive this call is through dreams. And I always say dreaming and understanding dreams, interpreting dreams, is a nice activity to do before becoming a witch and after becoming a witch too. Why? Because dreams are communications, and these communications come from the subconscious mind and also come from deities. Gods, goddesses, beings, elemental beings, and other beings, they all can communicate with us through dreams. Who explains this in a divine way is Scott Cunningham in the book Dreaming the Divine. It's a very short book and very informative. I highly recommend this book. So when you dream, you are actually seeing symbolic things. And when you understand this symbolism, you can decipher a message. So how to decipher and interpret dreams? The first thing you must do is to have a dream journal. Every day when you wake up, the first thing you do in the morning is to write down everything you can remember about your dreams from the last night. So, although the images are a bit confused or blurred, write the way you want to write, the way you think it's correct, the way you remember. Don't worry about details, don't worry about being so much precise, just write what you can. Because in the following hours, the tendency is to forget these dreams. Sometimes we even remember others or other details, but these first ones can be forgotten forever. So write down everything. And during the day, when you remember other details or other dreams, write them down too. So after some days writing the dreams, you simply take your dream journal and read it, trying to understand the symbols and the messages. Probably you will notice a pattern, and this pattern may indicate something. But one hint to decipher dreams: avoid using only and exclusively dream dictionaries. Although they bring a general overview of the symbol and the dream, they are not precise because these symbols and these dreams must be related to yourself. So what's your connection with the symbol you saw? What's your connection with the dream you had? You can read the dictionaries to have an overview, but you have to take into consideration your personal stuff. For example, if you are really afraid of a snake and you dream of a snake, so you have to understand your relation with the snake. You will see the meaning of a snake in a dream dictionary, but then you have to connect this meaning to yourself. Is it positive or negative? Is it a good sensation or a bad sensation? Although there will be written there the specific things and moments, you have to take into consideration your personal experience too. And talking about the call again, let's take the snake example one more time. So let's suppose you dream of a snake, and you are afraid or not of snakes, but you see a snake in your dream being very friendly to you, and you don't feel uncomfortable with this. You feel like you've known this snake for a long time as a friend, as a son. And then you see yourself with a shield, with a spear and fighting, and the snake is beside you. This may be a call from Athena, the goddess of wisdom. So when you notice this by writing down your dreams and revising after, you can understand, I received a call here, so I'm going to look for what's the meaning of having a shield, a spear and a snake by my side during a battle. You'll probably find the answer by reaching Athena. Is it clear, this dreaming part? If it's not clear, don't worry, just start writing your dream journal. It will become clear with time, I'm sure. Number 2, awaken the magic. Now that you received and answered the call, you have to awaken the magic in yourself. And how do you do this? The first tip is to reconnect yourself with nature. As natural witchcraft and natural magic comes from nature and the mother goddess, the essential thing for you to do to awaken your magic is to reconnect to it. Cycles, moon phases, seasons of the year, the weather, rain, sun, the plants, the animals, everything which is natural, you have to reconnect to it, because the energy nature has is going to enhance your magical power. Firstly, you will awaken it. Then you will work your own magic with nature's magic, and that's what natural witchcraft is. A very important tip for you to start this process of reconnecting is by following the wheel of the year, the pagan calendar, followed by many witches and pagans all over the world, because this calendar marks 8 different dates and very important dates which are related to the solar position and the earth position. Sun, the sun god, and the mother goddess, the earth. So their relation throughout the year. So by understanding and following these 8 celebrations, it's a good start to reconnecting to nature. And another tip is to pay attention to the lunar phases, which is also an aspect of Mother Goddess. So when you pay attention to the lunar phases, you understand another cycle from the new moon, waxing moon, full moon and waning moon, and different types of energy, different phases of the goddess, and so on. During these first steps, don't worry about trying to cast spells or making rituals, because this is a journey, and this is a bit long journey, so enjoy the journey. The right moment for spells and rituals is going to come. Enjoy the moment of reconnecting first. The second tip is to getting to know more about the 4 elements and the elemental beings, because the 4 elements make everything we know, or everything we know are made from these 4 elements. And the 4 elementals are the personification of these 4 elements. So by knowing them better, from working with them a bit and understanding their energies, you can also reconnect to nature. So one step doesn't exclude the other, everything complements itself. So get to know more about the 4 elements and the 4 elementals. I also made a video explaining about them. You can watch it if you haven't watched it yet. The third step to reconnecting to nature is by knowing plants, herbs, crystals and stones. They all have magical properties, and it's fundamental to know about them. But an important thing here, don't go trying different herbs, different plants, different flowers without knowing them better. It's nice to have a theoretical idea about all of them and the properties and energies before trying to do anything, before attempting to cast a spell or even drinking a tea from something you don't really know what's for. Because some plants are toxic, and depending on your organism or if you are pregnant or if you have some kinds of allergy, they can be really dangerous. So don't go burning incenses with things you don't know yet, making cheese or making brews. Avoid this. Pay attention to the theoretical part first. And when you are feeling secure, you can go to the practical part. About crystals and stones, this is not so dangerous, because when you take a crystal or a stone that has a different energy, not aligned to the things you want, you will really feel this energy and it will give you some headache or things like that, and you just stop using. So it's not so dangerous as taking the herbs and plants that you don't really know what are for. Books for this area, for the theoretical part, I always recommend Scott Cunningham's books 2. The Encyclopedia of Crystals and Stones and the Encyclopedia of Herbs. But I also recommend another great book for stones and crystals with this Crystals. Only Crystals, the title. It's perfect. By the way, I'll leave a link for all the books I'm recommending in the pinned comment below. So if you really want a book, go there and you have the links ready for you. The fourth step for awakening your magic is understanding symbols and studying about symbols, because, as I told you in the beginning, the universe talks with symbols. Everything is symbolic. So when we see the magic symbols, we have to know their meanings. There's a purpose why they are drawn the way they are drawn. So studying symbols, getting deeper into these, understanding more and knowing more symbols is fundamental for awakening and enhancing your own magic too. And I tell you this because knowing and learning more about symbols is like unlocking things. It's like opening doors with a key and following to the next room and going further and further and unlocking more and more knowledge. And talking about keys and opening doors, you also need a guide. It's nice to have a guide, which can be a goddess, a mother goddess, to guide you and to teach you. One of the most well-known figures in this path is Hecate, the goddess of witchcraft and spellcraft and the ways and darkness and everything. She holds the keys and the torch to illuminate this path. So she can really guide you, she can really help you. But I always see a lot of people, they don't really know what they are doing, but they are saying all the time, Hecate this, Hecate that, and Hecate everything. Hecate is not the only one. She can help you, of course, but there are many other manifestations of the goddess. And there are others who are more linked to yourself, with your life, with your personality, with your way, the stage you are in awakening the magic, in walking this path. So it's nice to know other deities too and give a chance to them. And for discovering which deity, which goddess or even a god can be your guide, I suggest a very simple ritual that can be performed whenever you want. All that you need is an incense. It doesn't matter which kind of incense, as long as you really enjoy it and it's not toxic. You light up this incense during the night before sleeping and you say it out loud. My guide, please, I want you to come and reveal yourself to me. Then you try to pay attention to your dreams. In the next morning you write them down, and during the day you read again and interpret the symbols you saw, and finally you will meet your guide. And the third step is to acknowledge your magical power. So you listen to the call, you answer the call, you awakened your magical power, and now you have to acknowledge it. And why do I say acknowledge? Because we really have to understand and be sure that we can use our magical power to transform things around ourselves, to transform our own life. As Aleister Crowley used to say, magic is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. So we have our own power to change everything we need. So we can manifest the things we want, we can banish the things we don't want, we can alter the things which are not correct. And you have to acknowledge these. You have to be responsible for your own power. And you have also to know what are your intentions and your needs. So when you have everything clear, you simply change. You simply cast your spells, you cast your magic, you use your magic, you manifest your will, everything working with your own power and with the nature power. That's what natural witchcraft is, and that's how you really become a witch. And an important thing to consider, just as I explained in the video why becoming a witch, is that when you finally own your power, you have the responsibility for the things you do. So all the things you want to create, to manifest, to banish or to alter, you have to know, you have to have clear answers for the following questions. Why do I need this, or why do I want this? What's going to happen after I achieve it? And what's going to happen to other people after I achieve it? If all the answers are clear, you're good to go. But beware that you have to take responsibility for your acts. So if you cause harm for yourself, for others, or for the collective, you have to deal with it yourself. Nobody's going to come and help you. Nobody's going to come and say, oh, no problem. You are just trying. If you do something wrong, you have to make it right after. And finally, how to cast spells and perform rituals. After all these 3 steps you follow during your journey, you're finally able to cast spells and make rituals for everything you want and need. And what is this actually? What is a spell actually? Spell, the word spell is related to word, to writing, to speaking. So a spell is nothing more than a series of words connected with a meaning and an intention to cause something, to create, to manifest, to banish, or to alter. For example, if you come from traditional religions you have today, You do spells, you cast spells all the time by saying a prayer. A prayer is nothing more than a series of words intended to cause an effect. This is a spell. Gospel is nothing more than God spell. That is, the God, the Christian God, is also a spellcaster. He manifests his will by saying specific words. And what is a ritual? A ritual is like a more elaborated spell, let's say like this. It involves words, items, ingredients, instruments, music, dancing, a whole bunch of things together connected for a specific purpose, for a specific meaning. It's simple. So these were 3 simple steps to be a witch. So if you really want to become a witch and you didn't know where to start, now you know, now you can. It's simpler than it looks, and this is for natural witchcraft, as I always have to say, because there are other traditions and branches of witchcraft, and sometimes they require a more formal thing or other specific studies. I think it's really boring because I think natural witchcraft is the best one because you use your power and nature power, and that's all. So if you enjoyed the video, please give your thumbs up, subscribe the channel, leave a comment below, access our oracles for free, join our Telegram to receive updates there, and that's it. Thank you so much. And if you're still here, why don't you stay a bit longer on my channel? Here you'll find a playlist with all the goddesses I've talked about. Here you'll find a playlist with all the spells and studies I've talked about. Here you can join the Telegram to receive the updates there. And here you can subscribe the channel here on YouTube. Thank you.